Dice Company contains fantasy violence, mature themes, and unapologetic bickering. No feelings were hurt in the making of it, but listener discretion is advised. Dice Company will always be free, but it's not free to make. Please consider supporting us on Patreon or Apple Podcasts and get access to our weekly roundtable show Extra Roll. Just follow any of the links in the show notes for this chapter.
On the 6th of Lanolin 368, the 100th airship took to the skies from the ports of Ovik. A galleon-class ship, 4 guns gleaming with gnomish craftsmanship. It was quite the fanfare, a big ceremony with lots of important people who'd come to celebrate the milestone. King Arcanax even broke a bottle of dwarven whiskey on its hull. 3 days later, another ship took to the skies. No guns, no royalty, not even a name. She wasn't fit for use in battle, so the gnomes didn't bother to register in their ledgers. Just another ship. Only she wasn't just another ship. In fact, she might be the most important ship in all of Athlon. It's funny how things work out. She was first owned by Sherman Castile, a sepulchre of the Church of Isidore, who claimed to ferry provisions to the hungry masses of Roanoke. "Take care of the poor," he'd preach, "and they'll take care of your soul." It later turned out he'd been lining his own pockets with the profits. Vander doesn't know this, but if he did, I bet he'd smile. When Sherman's debts came calling, the ship found herself chained to the Darkbank's Shadow Fleet. Forgotten again, unlisted, she gathered dust throughout the bloodiest of wars. Then, one day after the Freedom War had ended, an enterprising clerk handed her to a war-weary noble, and through a series of strange events, she became home to the Order of the Heron. The Sterling, as she's now called, means that they can go anywhere. 5 days this way to Roanoke, a month that way to the Fingers, or 3 weeks eastward to the Town of Misery. On a clear night, the gang stand on the poop deck, watching the stars. For hours, never even saying a word. For weeks now, the Sterling has been relentlessly battered from side to side in a never-ending storm. Seeksorrow, high above, the crow's nest gives you little protection against the elements. Then, through the lashing wind and rain, you see a single lantern flickering. Next to it, barely noticeable, is a figure. They are waving flags around in the rain, their arms sweeping in staccato movements, sending you a message. Alarm protocol. All vessels compromised. Unknown stratagem. The Sons of Khaile approach. Battle stations.
Oh my god.
Oh man. That's a hell of a start.
Seeksorrow, like the spotters on the Titanic, rapidly rings a little bell at the top of the mast, but he is not going to wait to see how that sound filters down through the fog and what happens below him. He is an expert sailor, damn it, and he is going to slide down a rope and shout, "Alarm! Alarm! The Sons of Khaile are coming!"
You swing down from atop the main stick, landing into a slide along the rain-slicked poop deck.
Weirdly, for reasons that will later become clear, beer starts trickling out of the crow's nest and down onto the deck. Okay, do I know what ship this thing came from?
The message came from the Indefatigable, captained by Alden Rowe.
Oh, amazing.
Vander, message from the Indefatigable. The Sons of Khaile have been sighted. Well, it says all our ships are compromised.
Out of the sheets of rain, you see a beswept Vander step forward through the gloom and shout,
Clear for action! Where away, Seeksorrow?
Seeksorrow's going to go, signal came from that way, and point, because that's all he's got direction-wise.
Vander turns to the helmsman.
Southwest!
On the port side, a sharpened metal bowsprit punctures a dark grey cloud as the shadow of another ship begins to pull alongside you. Over the sound of the lashing rain, you hear it. The ringing of a large bell echoes throughout the storm, disrupting your thoughts in the chaos. This is the Unforgiven, an airship of the Sons of Khaile, and it moves closer, ready to attack.
Okay, so Vander's gonna... Can I see the Unforgiven? Do I get any kind of ideas, the size or kind of broadside strength of this craft?
It's roughly 1.5 times the size of the Sterling. It's moving a little bit slower than the Sterling can at full speed, but it is coming in for a direct run straight at you. Huge bell on top ringing in the darkness.
Under his breath, Vander says, "That's a thumper." Oh God, and turns back to Seeksorrow.
Seeksorrow, signal to the Indefatigable. We're going to bluff them.
All right, boss. Seeksorrow has got his flags in a pocket, and he begins snapping the jolty rhythm of exactly what Vander just told him.
Give me a performance check, please.
Oh, fuck.
A natural 1 for 1.
A symphony of disaster.
We bluffed our allies.
Seeksorrow pokes himself in the eye with a flag and falls asleep.
All right, bluffing maneuver it is. 3 weeks previous.
Petren decides that he would like to have a word with Seeksorrow in private, and knowing that Seeksorrow can usually be found up in the crow's nest, he decides that that would be an opportune place to make sure that they have a conversation that can't be listened into. And so he shimmies his way up.
Seeksorrow wasn't really expecting guests, so you discover that the crow's nest is a little bit of a mess. There's sort of food plates and things lying around, and Seeksorrow is like crouching down, and he's got his semaphore flags out, and he's like jutting them from side to side, practicing sending a semaphore message, but doesn't want to be seen doing that, so he's crouched down in the crow's nest. Hello, Petren. Sorry, there was a wasp. I was trying to anyway, and he stows the flags away, and he like sweeps up some of the mess and like kicks some plates into the to one side and goes, come in. It's not exactly ship shape, but there are reasons.
Oh, don't worry, that's quite all right, Seeksorrow. You're probably aware that Petren hates mess and clutter, and is actually inching his way forward against all his instincts, screaming at him not to go into this.
Seeksorrow continues kicking everything into one pile, and then like stands in front of it.
I'm sorry to interrupt you and come up here and announce. I wanted to ask your opinion on something. That's all right.
Yeah, that's all right. Sorry about the mess. It was it's tomorrow's cleaning day up here. I think I might have got a bit lonely up here. Really, maybe I should come down a bit more. Anyway, that's fine. What's on your mind?
Well, I've done something that I think might have been a mistake, and I don't know if I ought to tell Vander or not.
Oh, sounds tricky. I normally wouldn't tell Vander if you've done something bad on his ship. What have you done? You've broken it like Tock?
Oh, no. It's nothing to do with ship. No. Well, you know Alexa. You remember Alexa?
Yeah, the little girl who might be a devil.
Well, I wouldn't say that. Well, you know how I worry about her. I'm very worried to hear that she was with the Emperor. But so I did. You know, I can do the scrying and kind of have a look at what's going on with someone.
What, like you can see them when you're not with them?
Yeah, do you remember I did that when we were trying to find Aloe that time back in Shale?
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, you went. Did you invade his dreams or something, and then that helped Vander kill him?
No, I didn't help Vander kill him. No, that was plan B. I didn't quite manage to do the scrying, so Vander invaded his dreams instead, and
Oh, that's much better then.
it was less wholesome than my attempt. Anyway, I was concerned about Alexa's well-being, and so I used my scrying to check in on her. And,
Invade her mind.
No, not invade her mind. Stop putting words in my mouth.
Sorry. Again, it's been a bit lonely up here. Anyway,
No, I'm sorry.
so you met, like looking out from here. You wanted to, you sailed up alongside her to, look out of the crow's nest at what she was up to.
That's right. And I'm sorry. I was snappy there. There was no need for that. I did. I went to have a look. Well, the thing is, scrying usually works one way. You see, I can see the scene that I want to, and I can see the person and what they're about.
Oh dear, but the little devil girl looked at you, did she?
Again, I'm concerned by the use of the word "little devil girl," but well, yes, and that's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to be able to do that.
Oh, and how do you know she could see you?
She said, "Hello, Petren."
All right, as a giveaway.
Yeah. So my concern is I don't know what she could do with that. I don't know if that means she knows where we are. And then if she knows where we are, does that mean the Emperor knows where we are? And I would like to keep this to myself. Did I ought to tell Vander about that?
Well, I guess he is the Admiral, so if a suspected possible devil child and the evil Emperor know where we are, I can see that might be information he would want. But what about what they were like? Could you see the Emperor? Were they buddies, or like you thought maybe she was a prisoner, didn't you, of his? Maybe because if she is, she probably wouldn't tell him what she saw.
Well, she said "Hello, Petren" quite loud and clear in a way that he could definitely hear.
Oh, in like a big outside voice, as it were.
Oh, yeah, big outside voice. Yeah.
Must have been strange for him if she just suddenly said, "Hello, Petren."
I expect it probably was. Yeah, it might have been a bit startled. Doesn't really give away a lot though, does he? He's got his mask like Vander. You never quite know what they're thinking.
Yeah, funny pair, them two. Vander and the Emperor. Also the Emperor and the Devil Girl. Sorry, not Devil Girl. Funny trio.
So what do you think?
It's tricky. So you think he knows what she saw. So I guess whether they're friends or not, if they're friends, she'll tell him. And if they're not friends, and she's an innocent girl, then we must suppose he can get that information from her because he's a very bad man.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Oh dear.
So if she said "Hello, Petren," but then how much could she see from?
Well, I don't know. I don't know. That's the problem.
Saying "Hello, Petren," we don't really know.
I think Vander might know, mightn't he?
Well, yeah, he does probably know about invading people's brains and killing them.
Right.
That sounds very Vanderish sort of lark, doesn't it, that?
I've got to tell him, haven't I?
I think so, but what's your worry here that Vander's going to say, why did you give away our position to a possible suspected devil child and the Emperor?
Well, more or less, yeah.
Yeah. Like it sounds actually worse, really, than Tock making magical doors in the bowels of the ship. Down in the hold, I know it's not the basement. Ships don't have basements, according to the books I've been reading.
Fuck off. A lightning bolt hits the top of the crow's nest.
God, there's always lightning up here, Petren. It's very weird. It's not even cloudy. Some sort of all-powerful being here that just gets pissed off with my ship knowledge.
Pretty funny, isn't it? Oh.
Yeah, very odd. Very odd, strange weather we're having today.
Metagaming.
Yeah. Hello. I think Petren, I don't really understand all this magic stuff, but I think you were doing what you thought was for the best. And although Vander is in many ways a terrifying lunatic, I also think deep down his heart's in the right place, and he'll know that yours was too. So I think we share this information, let him make of it what he will, and who knows, maybe he can use it, we can use it somehow to, I don't know, surprise them or rescue this girl if we are really sure she's not a devil.
Oh, all right. I thought you were probably going to say something like that, to be honest, Seeksorrow, which sort of leads me to my second question.
All right.
Will you come with me when I tell Vander?
Oh. No. All right, Petren. I need to do a run down to the washing up station then. So you got to clean up here. So let me gather up some of this stuff, and then we'll go and talk to Vander, shall we? He'll understand. He lives in the grey areas, doesn't he?
Before either of you speak, allow me to confide in you a key element of my plans.
Says Vander, poring over the documents in front of him.
To have even a shred of a chance of success, we must rely on the utmost secrecy. Only complete concealment can steer us to victory. Now, Petren, what was it you wished to tell me?
I was scrying on Alexa Storm and she was with the Emperor and I saw her. They were on the continent of Goresh by a great big ziggurat and I saw what they were up to and then she turned around and said, "Oh, Petren," and now I'm worried that she's seen me and knows where we are.
The compass Vander is using to plot miles on the nautical map he's staring at rips the page. He turns away, clasping his hands behind his back and looking out of the rear captain's windows.
Am I to understand, Petren, that you have been spied upon by Alexa Storm in the presence of no less,
And a finger raises directly upwards,
of the Emperor himself?
Well, this is the thing, you see, Vander. This is why I thought I should consult you, because I know that she knew that I was there, because she said, "Hello, Petren." But I don't know whether she could tell where I was.
And what indication did you get, Petren, that you were indeed seen?
Well, she said, "Hello, Petren."
you see a spasm run through Vander's body.
And now you choose consultation?
Seeksorrow leans forward and looks at upside down at all the charts on Vander's table and kind of moves a little bit of paper and goes, "Is there perhaps a plan B in here, Vander?"
A plan B.
Well, what I wanted to know, given your exceptional knowledge of magic, I didn't expect her to be able to know that she was being scryed upon. That's not usually a thing. But given that she could tell that she was being scryed upon, is there any way that she would know where she was being scryed upon from?
Well, Petren, allow me to summarize. You have indulged your latest hobby by spying on a child endowed with a near pure evil. And in the course of so doing, you have had your brain invaded and potentially everything around you scryed upon. Does that answer your question?
Well, I suppose it does. I'm very sorry.
Well, at least this calamitous decision has the minuscule upside of providing you clarity.
What do you mean by that, Vander?
Well,
And Vander turns to face you for the first time, his eye boring into yours.
I mean clarity in the sense that you have provided the enemy intelligible direction of the air fleet and therefore the ability to counter our maneuvers. You have jeopardized everyone aboard the Sterling and everyone aboard every craft that sails in our navy. Your little ploy, your desperate need for information on a girl I have repeatedly told you is the utmost evil, has, in a stroke, provided them the means of destroying us all. That is the clarity to which I refer.
So, pros and cons then, Vander?
Very much so, Seeksorrow. Very much so.
I'm very sorry. I didn't think it was possible to do that. And if there's anything I can do, I'll try and fix it.
Well, I'm quite sure that if you're sorry, all of these things can be reversed. Allow me to wave my hand and make it all go away.
Oh, thanks, Vander. I was really worried for Petren there.
We are at war, Seeksorrow!
Oh, sorry.
Do either of you understand what this means?
Yes, Vander.
Vander leans forward.
Twice in my life, I have had the fate of the free world at my fingertips. A fight against a true evil, a darkness that shrouded the land. And the first time, we lost. We lost everything. Personally, I lost this.
And Vander takes off his mask, showing his mutilated face.
I cannot explain to you the incalculable cost of what you have put in motion. Do you now understand that we need to form a plan that brings us victory at any cost, and we cannot afford mistakes of this type ever again?
Yes, Vander.
Could I make a suggestion, Vander?
Vander replaces the mask and seems to regain a little bit of his composure.
By all means.
Well, they knew what we were doing at the moment they saw Petren, and they presumably will think we'll carry on doing whatever that was. So if we now do something different, that will give us back an element of surprise.
Vander thinks for a second.
A bluff. An interesting notion. Maybe an idea I will return to. There is other positive news in what has happened.
Tock made more soup.
Vander shudders and goes on as if only mildly derailed.
Both sides are currently in a race. The Emperor to complete his ritual, and us to destroy his army, by which he means to dominate the land. Neither of us can break from our course, so to an extent, our actions are set. We are about to enter the arm wrestle phase of this conflict. And while guile may serve us somewhat, broadsides will be as effective as any other. To that extent, I believe the situation is recoverable.
Right you are. Sorry, Vander.
Excellent.
Petren shuffles out of Vander's cabin with his head drooped.
Seeksorrow a moment.
Seeksorrow is halfway out the door, feeling like the kid that's been bollocked slightly less than the other kid by the head teacher, and is therefore kind of happy to be escaping. So he turns around and says, yeah, Vander?
Petren has displayed a most intriguing power, and while I am afeard that he has cost us greatly in his exercise of that power, I believe Petren has a key part to play in the events that approach. While I am personally aggrieved at his actions, it is important that his mind is set right. I entrust this to you. We need Petren back in the fight, Seeksorrow.
Alright, so just got to cheer him up.
How delightfully put.
Oh, that's fine. I'll cheer him up. Never mind. These things happen, don't they? At sea or wherever we are. In the air.
Vander clasps his temple.
Seeksorrow hangs around for a kind of awkward moment, wondering whether Vander's going to say anything else. And then gives a little nod of his head and goes, Admiral, and walks stiffly from the room.
As the door closes, Vander, you hear a gentle tap, tap, tap. The noise of a tiny cane hitting the floor. Your eyes are drawn to the corner of the room where you see a bizarre sight. A ragged-looking rat is walking upright, wearing a black robe and dragging a small sack of trinkets behind him. He turns to face you, a porcelain white half-mask on his face. He sniffs loudly and adjusts a tiny crown to a jaunty angle atop his head.
I don't know about you, but that seemed pretty harsh.
Is it the Rat King?
It's the Rat King!
God. I'm calling it early. Vander has gone insane and none of that is really happening.
I've been taking my orders from the fake Rat King all this time.
The Unforgiven is moving in to attack. Petren and Tock, you hear the ringing of the bell from below decks.
Well, Petren would like to dash up onto deck to try and see what is going on.
Tock will do the same, except slightly slower and slightly more stompier.
The two of you see this incredible performance as Vander barks instructions as Seeksorrow dances on the edge of the ship.
That's all very well, Seeksorrow, but I don't think whether Jaffa cakes count as cakes or biscuits is really the key issue of the day.
Seeksorrow signals, sorry, Petren. Much to the confusion of the other ships. Also, metagaming? I don't know. Do Jaffa cakes break the fourth wall?
It depends how hard you throw them.
I'm going to need a DM ruling.
Oh.
So I guess what I would really like to do is use reduce on the ship that is attacking us.
Ooh, so the
It says
enlarged
equals
reduce
a creature or an object you can see within range to grow larger or smaller. But maybe I was thinking maybe I should cast enlarge on the bell. So it becomes huge and too heavy for its mooring and falls and crashes through the ship.
You are trading one kind of awful for another kind of awful.
It seems like a better kind of awful.
So that's two grotesque ideas in such quick succession that I think you might have a future in politics.
Petren, seeing this enemy ship very little distance ahead and hearing the ringing of the enormous bell, has the idea that maybe he could make that bell even bigger, to the point where it is so big that it cannot be held by its moorings and will fall, and its increased weight will crash through the ship. His thinking is that will just simply cause chaos on the ship, at least, and may cause it some sort of irreparable damage.
Petren, you cast enlarge reduce on the bell, which swells in size as the mooring atop the pivot point begins to crack, and the bell's rings become louder and more booming.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Can I get wisdom saving throws from all of you, please?
Uh-oh.
17 for Vander.
Natural 20 for 21 for Seeksorrow.
18 for Petren.
12 for Tock.
Tock throws himself after the bell.
Tick gets a 5.
Tock and Tick, please take 28 bludgeoning damage.
Oh, God.
That was the bell doing the damage. The bell then creaks, cracks, and collapses, falling onto the main deck of the Unforgiven, crashing through it and causing all sorts of chaos. The ship begins to waver as its steady approach directly towards you is now drifting slowly off course.
Do not ask for whom the bell tolls.
It tolls for thee.
Yes, Petren.
I mean, that wasn't
Amazing.
Petren, was it? Come on.
Sounded just like Petren.
Any of the sailors around Petren, newfound respect. After that, they don't know who's done that, and then Petren comes out with that line, absolutely terrified.
To the larboard battery.
But then, on observing the bell and the ship and all the damage that's done, decides against any kind of bluff move, because now the ship is essentially, presumably out of any kind of steering action, and then just looks around at his crew and says,
Belay that.
Okay, so I should explain how this is going to work. We're running through a series of maneuvers for different crew members in order to replace the standard initiative rolls. Spotters will look for new challenges by rolling a d10 to see which ships attack you guys. They'll also keep an eye out for changes to the battlefield or try and find weaknesses in the enemies. A shouter will relay instructions to help coordinate the fleet. The pilot can attempt acceleration or dodging moves. The gunners will fire. The enemy will then attack. Then we have the engineers who repair the Sterling as it's being attacked. And finally, we get the moves from the air fleet of Shale. And at the very, very end, any environmental effects that are happening while you're flying at speed through this storm. Okay, so next up is the pilot action. So Geddes is currently by the big steering wheel, and he is awaiting instructions. He can attempt to evade the Unforgiven, or he can attempt to boost the speed of the Sterling to get you out of danger.
As the Admiral, it makes sense that Vander would make that call, I think.
I'm going evade. I think the ship's damaged, and I think we're better off making sure that we don't accidentally cruise into its path.
Next up is the gunner position. Who would you like to assign to the gunner position from your remaining crewmates?
I mean, it sounds like Marek Forehands would be the shout for this, wouldn't it?
Seeksorrow's up for violence, so he is going to go and man the guns. Yeah, so Seeksorrow will slide down a banister, and he grabs a couple of sailors, Marek Forehands and Tozo Redfang, both trailing in his wake, and he does the aiming and pointing bit and gets them to pull the rope that runs the cannon out, and then he puts the little glowing wick to the back of the cannon. I think you shout, "Have a care!"
You do.
Which means cover your ears.
Exactly. And just for interest's sake, guns on the deck are simply called the deck guns.
One of the deck guns, as yet unnamed, is fired.
Roll me a ranged attack.
19.
That's a hit. A palpable hit.
Nice.
So that is, 53.
Very nice.
The cannons go off with a bang. You see splintering on the side of the Unforgiven. While previously it drifted, the unusual ship starts to bank left faster as its nose dips. Bowsprit down, falling into a crash. You can see even in the pouring rain that there are a number of automatons aboard. All of them war automatons, and they begin desperately trying to piece together the splintered hull of the Unforgiven, managing to fix it for 4 hit points. Christ.
I tell you what, anyone who can put together splinters again is a pretty skilled bosun, to be fair.
7, and then it is going to attack you. No, it's not, because the only attack it had was the bell, which has fallen through the ship. It can't actually attack you.
Oh, amazing. Apropos of nothing, Vander, in a very Admiral-esque pose, has strode to the side rail. You know, like the classic officers of the Navy of old, standing as if not bothered by gunfire. He may have realised that the bell is their only attack, but the sailors don't need to know that.
Tock, roll me a d10, please.
9.
From the blind side of the Unforgiven, you see a shadow moving through the storm as the crown from the air fleet of Shale careers into the side of the Unforgiven, destroying it, splitting it in half, but damaging itself. It obviously misunderstood Seeksorrow's message on what to do, forcing it to crash into the enemy. But it has taken the enemy out. Good lord.
Vander casts a very sharp look at Seeksorrow as he watches the chaos. But obviously Vander's also observing that the crown is going to make it through this, albeit with some damage.
I mean, Seeksorrow doesn't notice that at all, because he is just standing, having fired a cannon. The ship he fired at effectively exploded and fell out of the sky, and another ship has appeared in its place. So he is watching the most amazing show of his life. So he's just standing, like, gaping at the side at the awesomeness of what's going on right now.
And Vander looks down at Seeksorrow, sees that he is distracted by what's going on in front, says,
Seeksorrow, to your duties! Wet the guns!
Yeah, all right, Vander. Do what he said, guys. Good. Seeksorrow's still got a few pages of the sailing manual to complete.
Petren, roll me a d10, please.
2.
From the starboard side, another ship appears through the gloom. Reinforced by metal, the Iron Psalm cuts a dangerous visage in the torrential downpour. Its hull is inscribed with Alokian runes, and its sails are made of thick red material. Its bowsprit, a massive battering ram. It turns slowly, ready to face the side of the Sterling. Next up is the environmental effects. Seeksorrow, roll me a d10, please.
6.
As the Sterling moves through the night air, it hits a fog bank. All perception checks will be at disadvantage for this round.
Vander, can you shoot across the deck, and then I'll lead some men in after that?
he gets a stern nod from Vander, who begins bellowing orders.
Port side, come to starboard and load the guns with grape shot. Starboard side, prepare for boarding action.
And so Seeksorrow runs about gathering up any sailors or Knights of Scarlet or anyone else who's available who's obviously not involved in the loading of the cannons, and basically kind of trying to keep low or, you know, keep behind cover, just get his boarding party ready and not be too obvious, ready to suddenly flood over and surprise the enemy.
Sir Aldrich Vane of the Knights of Scarlet appears on the poop deck and understands the orders, ready to join you in a boarding action.
Tock will look to Seeksorrow for instructions because he's the one in charge. Boarding actions.
Seeksorrow beckons to Tock.
Okay, Tock will follow Seeksorrow.
Amazing.
And Tick will follow.
As the boarding party's gathering, Petren maybe grabs Tock as he's going past and goes, Tock, is that... Am I always deceiving me, or is that ship made of metal?
That is correct, Petren.
In that case, I've got an idea. Just hold on a second, everyone. Don't board just yet. And Petron's going to cast Call Lightning.
Oh my god.
At least he waited before we were on there.
You're beginning to see why the Navy didn't have metal ships for sky battles, but yep.
Dexterity saving throw.
How good's a ship at dexterity saving throws?
Yeah, I'm going to say that the huge flying metal ship, dexterous is not a word I would associate with it, so it will auto-fail that, obviously, because it can't actually dexterously move out of the way of you casting a spell on it. So please roll damage.
Doesn't it do more damage? Is there a storm at the moment, you said?
I believe there is a storm. Yeah, it does extra damage during storm.
Yeah.
I think I kind of imagined that, like, sailors on the deck standing in puddles might be in a little bit of trouble, but I don't know.
There are 4 automatons on the deck of the Iron Psalm. I guess they would need to do deck saving throws as well. This is an area of effect. 3 were successful.
Automatons are vulnerable to lightning.
I'll bet they are. I'm vulnerable to lightning.
Tock must be shitting himself at this point.
They're not quite as vulnerable as humans are, but still.
Just for context.
The cool lightning crackles around the Iron Psalm, and the automatons who have stood on the deck in puddles in the pouring rain and the storm are all electrified. One of them in particular, you see its head begin to wobble violently as its eyes pop out and its head just explodes as it crashes to the ground with thunk. So there are only 3 remaining on the deck.
Top killer?
Top killer! Oh my word! Is it his first kill? Is that literally Petren's first kill?
Top killer!
I don't know, how many people did he take down with a previous...
I was going to say, you have to give us the crew count of that other ship.
Yeah, well, it hasn't crashed
1,000.
yet. Yeah, all souls lost.
Yes. Somewhere in the Empire, tomorrow at dawn, someone's going to blow a whistle and then read out the names of all of the fallen. Petren is good. It's going to take like 45 minutes.
While this is happening, the Iron Psalm has been moving closer towards the Sterling, its great battering ram getting ready to pierce the hull of your great ship, dishing out 34 bludgeoning damage. You all feel the impact as the Sterling is rocked by the crashing bludgeoning attack of the battering ram. You are all able to maintain your footing, but the 2 ships are now locked together in a chaotic dance high in the clouds. Okay, let's grape shot for the gunners. So give me another attack, Seeksorrow.
That is 23.
Is a hit.
Or is that 59?
The cannons fire the grape shot, which scatters over the deck. You see a cacophony of sparks smash across the deck of the Iron Psalm. The 3 remaining automatons have their shields up in defensive positions. Right, boarding crew.
Well, we've seen lightning and now we know it's about to crash, so let's get on there. Seeksorrow grabs hold of a rope. He assumes that there is a rope for everyone to hold and that somehow it's, like in all sea battles, it's somehow strung in such a way that you could swing from here out towards the other ship, which when you think that the rope probably is attached to the ship and there would more swing you inny towards the middle of the ship. But anyway, this is an aside. He somehow swings out, and as he does, he goes, "Come on, lads." And then as he does that thing where you jump up and for a moment you're weightless before the rope bites and you swing away, he goes, "Cowabunga!"
Excellent. Give me an athletics check, please.
20.
Nice. Perfect.
And he hopes that mishmash of automatons and Knights of Scarlet and other assorted heroes and lunatics follows him.
Sir Aldrich Vane sees you swinging on the rope and thinks better of it and runs to the side of the Sterling and just leaps across onto the Iron Psalm to join you.
Tock also looks askance at this thin rope, and him and Tick's bulk decides to take out the grappling hook and chain that he's got stowed in his cloak, throws the grappling hook over the gunnels of the other ship and just pulls the 2 ships close together so they touch, and then warps over the side into the other ship.
Holy shit, that's awesome.
Did he just grapple a ship?
Maybe.
Add it to the list.
Yeah, I was going to say dragons and full-on ships now.
Holy crap, Ola, that is fantastic.
Is there any animal, vegetable or mineral that can't be grappled by this guy?
So far he hasn't grappled any vegetables, but...
Seeksorrow is going to charge towards the nearest automaton, pulling his great axe from his back, and he's going to slash at this foul enemy. 12.
Is a miss. Not an ideal start.
Okay, well, I get 2 attacks, so I'm going again. 15.
Is a hit. Just. Roll 4 damage.
Also 15. Seeksorrow swipes once, but he's running towards the automaton, and he overcooks it and swings past the automaton's shoulder, but he brings it crashing back into the side of the automaton's head with a thump.
But the automaton is still standing. Tock and Tick.
Okay, Tock and Tick are still heavily damaged, but they will also charge the automaton. Tock will touch the automaton in the centre, and Tick will follow up next to it. Tock will draw the dark blade and stab. 25 for 12 piercing. Second attack, 23 for 12 piercing damage. Consistency is key.
Tock, tell us a story.
Okay, Tock will threaten the automaton's face. Then when he raises the shield, will cut his leg off at the knee under the shield.
Just the matter of fact way he says it, isn't it?
It's a matter of fact.
I think the
sweet.
bells riled him. He's trying to out-sick you.
Tick must be so proud of his little son.
Tick is going to advance to behind the automaton that Seeksorrow's fighting and will strike with his weapon, which you'll note is a double-handed greatsword that is with a blade that's currently on fire. 24 to hit for 8 damage.
Tick, please tell us a story.
Tick cannot speak.
He just cleaves the other automaton in half. Seeksorrow, the automaton has just pulled your axe out of its head, and then the top half of his body just spins off to the left, and behind it stood, holding a flaming double-handed sword, is Tick.
Seeksorrow gives a big grin at Tick.
Tick waves at Seeksorrow.
And Seeksorrow, because they're slightly too far apart to do this, he offers him like an air high five to see if Tick will return it.
Yes, he will. And
yes!
And we'll talk. What?
What?
Father! I have successfully taken out an enemy, and now I am air-fiving Seeksorrow.
Well done, child.
Thank you, Father.
Does it look like Little Tick, or is Little Tick now Big Tick?
This still looks like Tick that you've known for months.
So the personality of Little Tick now appears to be coming out of Tick.
Yeah, as far as he can tell.
Okay, so Seeksorrow goes, yeah.
Yeah!
And Seeksorrow kind of shakes himself and then looks at the remaining enemy, thinking that this isn't the time for existential crises about exactly what constitutes personhood.
Three weeks previous.
Seeksorrow emerges from Vander's cabin and sees Petren presumably walking somewhat dejectedly away, looking a bit kind of shell-shocked. Are you all right, Petren? That was quite rough in there.
You've made a mess of everything, haven't I, Seeksorrow?
Well, not everything. I think we're coming to a big fight with the Emperor, aren't we, anyway? So, I don't know, maybe it changes when and where that happens, but end of the day, we're going to have to beat these people, aren't we? So, maybe it hurts that they know where we are, but maybe it just, brings forward the day when we have to fight them anyway.
I'm worried that I'd put people in danger. Vander was right. I should have just left it alone. He warned me. I had to go and do it, didn't I? I had to go and be the, good old Petren, always looking out for people and,
Better to do the wrong thing for the right reasons. Your heart was in the right place, wasn't it?
I can investigate your heart's location if you wish.
Hello, Tock. I didn't realise you were there. No, I think it's all right. Thank you. I think it was.
I think, Tock, we're just trying to. We like to. Petren's having a bit of a rough day. We'd just like to cheer him up a bit. Have you got any ideas? Any words of encouragement?
No, Petren. I require your assistance in my workshop for a project.
And thus a new form of counselling was born.
and at the word assistance, I think Petren perks up a little bit. And he says, oh, you need my help?
I have germinated a tree. You will find it interesting.
Oh, right, and is it useful? Will it be helpful for, the war effort or whatever?
It will be of great use.
Excellent. Okay, right you are. I'll be with you straight away then. What do we got to do, Tock?
Follow.
Right you are.
Tock will start walking ponderously down towards his workshop.
As the two leave, Seeksorrow just goes, oh, thank gods for that, and sets off towards the galley to do the washing up.
As you follow Tock down into his workshop, you, much like Vander before, see that it has expanded to take over at least 2/3 of the Sterling's hold. In it, there are multiple automatons, at least half a dozen that you can see working on various projects. What looks like new automatons being grown. You saw Little Tick being constructed, born. It looks like Tock is got another set of them on the go. There is also in a corner a set of what looks like a few automaton limbs upside down attached to a work surface, just hands and legs sort of like upright in the air. There's some armor in a corner that appears to bear Vander's face on it. There are some tubs of what looks like grains, almost like black rice, and it looks like Tock is filling up several kegs full of the stuff, some kind of chemistry experiment going on. As he leads you all the way through this, there's, at the end, two things. There is both, it looks like a bonsai oak tree, but, quite young, very nice, shallow tray that it's set in, and something slightly off about it. There's like a little string that's attached to the top, like a woven tassel. It gets really thick. It's about an inch thick at the end, and then descends into a very, very thin string attached to the main trunk of the tree. Next to it appears to be a partially disassembled automaton brain in a small case. Tock will point to or gesture to the bonsai tree.
Petren, I require your assistance with this project. It is germinated from the acorn that you gifted me.
Oh, that's lovely. All right, you are. What do you need?
Growth. It is too small.
That should be straightforward enough, I suppose. Right, you are. Petren reaches back for his quarterstaff and makes the necessary little symbols.
As he casts it, you see the tree kind of like I want to say like writhe, and you see like more branches and things, but it doesn't get any bigger. There's like a slight amount of movement, and the tree remains the same size, which is very unusual.
I estimate it will require 12 castings.
12? Well, that's unusual. I mean, it usually works with just one. What's so special about this one then, Tock?
Scale.
Come again?
Scale. It is magical.
And so it's sort of resistant, boy?
The full effects of your spell are not apparent at this time.
Oh, okay.
After 12 daily castings, it will become apparent. Upon activation...
Right, so I just need to come back once a day for 12 days?
That is correct.
Does it need to be at an exact time? Like at exactly this time tomorrow and the day after? Or does it matter if it varies a little?
The timing may vary. It is not critical.
Right, you are. And what will happen once the 12 days are up? Will it suddenly grow all at once, or...?
Negative. The effects will be demonstrable to the crew.
You know what, Tock? I've got so many questions, it almost seems better not to ask any.
Vander has previously arrived at this conclusion. It is a strategy for obscurement of personal goals that I find useful.
Oh, it works. It definitely works. Well, was there anything else, or is it just this?
The automaton brain that was on display, you can fungi based. In fact, you might know the strain of fungi is called Tavistock. It has a sort of strong, kind of almost like metallic, slightly fatty, slightly metallic smell to it.
Are automaton brains made of fungus, Tock?
That is one component.
Is this one you've made yourself, or is this one that you found?
One that has been discovered. It is under an investigation.
What sort of investigation?
It has been corrupted.
Is this Tick's?
That is correct.
So, if this is Tick's brain, what's in Tick's head? Right.
I have crafted a new control system for Tick. He will remain fully functional as an assistant.
Right. And is he still Tick?
Yes.
How can you be so confident? How can you take out a brain and replace it with a new brain and confidently state it's still the same person?
The concept of personhood is an area of active exploration and experimentation.
Is personhood a safe thing to be experimenting with, Tock?
In the circumstances, Petren, it is a matter of survival for automata. Personhood has been removed at scale by the Empire.
And you're trying to return it, are you?
That is correct. It is my goal. There are some interesting fungi that you may peruse.
I'd like to do that, if I may. Thank you.
Okay, Tock's got an entire wall of the workshop with various plants and fungi kind of very much outgrowing their containment in little jars and things, and you can sort of spend as many hours as you want down in the workshop, sort of, let's say, perusing them, examining and taking samples, etc. He's got, a little lab going on down there.
And whether or not Tock realizes this, he has given Petren the best gift possible in order for Petren to forget his troubles for a while.
Aboard the Iron Psalm, Sir Aldrich Vane, Knight of Scarlet, draws his sword, prepares his shield, and charges into combat.
Is that a crit?
Yeah.
Sir Aldrich Vane has no time for your existential crises.
He just charges in and just lops the automaton's head clean off in one swing. He turns to you guys. You guys fight in an unusual manner, but it is not ineffective.
Thanks, you did really well.
I know.
Seeksorrow doesn't really know how to be a battle leader in this situation. He feels like he should say something inspirational, but it's weird now.
Query, Seeksorrow, do you wish to take this ship as a prize or scuttle?
Yes, I do. I want this ship. We've got to have it. And Seeksorrow is going to run to take the wheel. He's wanted to be a sailor of his own ship, and he figures finders keepers.
Oh my god.
What's this ship called?
It's called the Death Trap.
And as he runs up to take control of his new ship, he goes, "Switch off the lightning, Petren!"
I suppose I am in control of the storm to an extent, aren't I? So, yeah, Petren will maybe move the storm away from their current location.
And Seeksorrow will attempt to bring the ship onto the shoulder of the Sterling, like the second goose in the V formation.
Maybe we should put this one in the front of the Sterling to take the brunt and then ram the next ship that comes into...
Oh, I'm awaiting a signal from the Admiral. I can read semaphore.
Vander picks up what you're doing and shouts down to the crew left on the Sterling, "Cut the ropes!"
Tock will take the big thick chain and grappling hook and unbind the ships.
Wonderful.
Where is Tock staying? Is Tock happy to serve on Captain Seeksorrow's new toy?
Tock will stay here for now, yes. There's good reason for that. Also, he's going to use some hit dice.
Sir Aldrich Vane also stays aboard. So you now have a very powerful, punchy airship under your control.
Nice. I'm just wondering whether to get everyone to kind of stay out of sight so we can be a kind of ghost ship, because we are effectively a flying battering ram. So we could use that to ghost up to other ships of the enemy fleet. Whereas if they see our crew, I guess the automatons actually would be all right. And so Seeksorrow says to Vane, just tells him to, find an inconspicuous spot.
He looks around on the plain metal deck and he sees a railing and just crouches behind it slightly.
Tock and Tick will prop up the remains of the automatons sort of around the prow so they at least look like they're still on board.
Very nice,
Yeah.
Very nice.
And as the ship pivots round the Sterling to take up its position in front, the poop decks kind of go past each other, and you see Vander take off his Sky Marshal's hat and shout over the wind and the rain, "Your first command, Seeksorrow!" And you get a deferential wave of the cap.
I thought I was getting the hat.
No.
Seeksorrow snaps a very good form salute and then just wanders over to Vane, who's crouching down, and just lays a cloak on top of him so he looks like a pile of laundry on the deck. Keep warm.
Thank you. With Tock on the Iron Psalm, Harry, would you like to roll me 2d10 for fixing actions done by the automatons still on the Sterling?
Okay. There'll be an 18.
Holy crap, very nice.
I've trained them well.
You freaking, no kidding. Vander, give me a d10, please. And Petren, give me a d6.
That's an 8 for Vander.
And a 1 for Petren.
You depart the fog bank which obscured your view just in time to see On the port side of the Sterling, an airship unlike any you've ever seen before. As it flies through the storm, you can see it's made up from constantly moving cogs, which give the appearance of an undulating wave, shifting and reconstituting itself along with the wind. You're sure as you stare at it, Petren, that small skull-like visages are appearing in the cogs, screaming before disappearing, as it moves alongside the Sterling, ready to attack. And we'll end it there.
I don't know about you, but that seemed pretty harsh.
Is it the Rat King?
It's the Rat King!
God.
Vander turns his gaze from the door and then relaxes into his captain's chair, still facing the door.
I was wondering when I would have the pleasure of meeting you.
And what a pleasure it must be.
And the Rat King bows.
Vander nods his head in his own fashion of a genuflect.
Indeed. Flattery is always welcome. And I see my visage is not lost on you.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, as we can see.
And he gestures towards you.
How intriguing. I had assumed you had copied some of my sage doings in order to achieve your current status, hence your rather unrat-like
Vander gestures at his appearance.
appearance. Tell me, how is it you came to be the leader of your kind?
That is a great question. Very intuitive. Would you believe I simply popped into existence at the top of the hierarchy?
You cut me to the quick. I was going to ask how your kind came to be at all, but even your small explanation indicates at the presence of an outside force, specifically a magical one. I recall some time ago concocting a magical soup which seeped into the floor of the Sterling. I wonder if magical liquid sloshing around in the belly of the ship had something to do with how you became sentient.
It is entirely possible. I've spent the majority of my life considering where I came from. A hushed shadow in the background who brought me to this place to oversee the hundreds upon thousands of my subjects.
I am neither surprised to learn that the Sterling is riddled with rats, nor am I surprised to learn that you have spent the vast majority of your life contemplating the reason for your dark existence. That we share. But what is it your people desire? So often the most interesting of conversations lie in that direction.
By my whiskers and my crown, all I demand is the finest cheese scraps for my royal palate.
A worthy goal, my rodent friend. And what would you be prepared to offer for such a kingly price?
He empties out the satchel that he's been dragging, and small cogs and nails pour out.
I have these trinkets from the machines below decks. They're worth a fortune, I'm sure.
And he picks up a nail and bites it, as if to prove how tough it is.
You have much to learn. What you present me are brittle-prattle, trinkets, useless items of no purpose. But what you have shown me is that you have access to Tock's workshop and probably free run of all areas of the Sterling, which have become strangely new and unfamiliar to me of late.
Are you suggesting some formal alliance between my people and yours?
A profitable partnership, yes. You desire cheese and of the finest quality. I desire information. Equally fine and rare information. And maybe some security. I'm interested in your numbers. Were you to have to use force? Are you capable of such a feat?
We may be small in size, but we are large in number. I would expect my people to be able to repel most attackers in most situations.
Savaged to death by sentient rats is a fitting end for someone who steps aboard my ship without leave to do so. Would you mind running a form of security, obviously at my command?
I see no problems with that arrangement. I would, of course, need to see some of that delicious cheese.
And you will have it. I would also be obliged if you could report on anything you regard as curious within the workshop of the automaton Tock. I would be most grateful if you could supply me with the purpose and creation of new rooms aboard the Sterling, or strange phantasmal passages into places unknown. I used to have a grip of things in the lower decks, and of late, I feel my grip loosening somewhat, and as you will imagine, no king wishes to loosen their grip upon their kingdom.
I understand better than most. I think we have ourselves a royal arrangement.
I, in my turn, will acknowledge your royalness, as you will acknowledge my role as the Sky Marshal. And cheese you will have. There is one other pressing question we must discuss, though.
Which is?
Your name. What should I call you?
My name is, quite simply, the Rat King.
Vander smiles. Acceptable. Now, as a token of good faith, I require a small favor while I dig out the relevant cheese, which I will always place here. And he points to one of the lower drawers in his desk. I'm sure you have ways of opening it, so I won't share the key with you. But I understand the crow's nest has become rather grubby. If you could make your presence felt there, and further to that, make the point that the crow's nest should be ship-shape to its current occupant, in whatever fashion you see fit, I would be much obliged.
I shall put my finest rats on the case right now.
Well, my thanks, and I look forward to speaking again in the near future, and hearing what you have learned about my dear shipmates.
Till the next time, Sky Marshal.
Rat King.
You've been listening to Dice Company's Small Embers, starring Dave Windust as Petren Oakflower, Alex Morrison as Seeksorrow, Charlie Blackadder as Vander Finnick, and Harry King as Tock, with Tom Patrick as your Dungeon Master.
The humans of Dice Company would like to thank the following sweethearts for their support: Corey Mack, The Red Right Hand, Dave Patterson, Boy Genius, Zeus Legion, Zero Nova, Sepulchre Stennet, Marky B, Jenny the War Camel, Stephen Sikora, Nori Gosler, Mickey Arnold, Happy Daddy Scotty, Tika S.J. Phionics, Richard Ungermas, Rabbi Camel, Team #Stay Toxic, Path Pursuit, Paris Pakar, Julia Zeno, Shovels, Queenie, and a special extra thanks to our very own Council of Rojan, Mama Strange, Axel Runholm, and Chris from North London.
Vander, roll me a d10, please.
I'm an admiral. I shouldn't have to roll, but
All right, then.
no, I'm joking. Let me roll. I'm sorry.
Have your peons roll me a d10.
Oh, I didn't realise you were going to challenge me. I'm right back in. A 7. Thanks, DM. Don't smite me just yet.
What's the opposite of port?
Starboard. Yeah, starboard, yeah.
I don't know if it's left or right, but I know it's the opposite of port.
Was someone going to say
Right.
sherry?
I may have confused things by using larboard, which is like, a
Cool.
dumb thing to do.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How is this metal airship coping with stormy weather and lightning, etc.?
Well, let me tell you, if it gets hit by lightning, it would be quite bad for it.
Quite bad for it, you say. Interesting.
Quite bad.
News.
It's really ominous that you can't see Dave when he's saying that.
It really is. Tock or Petren, would you like to join the boarding action?
Not for me, thank you.
Okay.
Just try talk.
A gentleman.
I like to think that's how one refuses a boarding action.
Not for me, thank you.
Not for me.
I mean, I could do a thing which would hopefully which would hopefully prevent boarding being required, but I don't want to take the fun out of it.
Hey, you do you. It's the chaos of battle. If you were to destroy a ship before it can be boarded, then I suggest you do that.
We're going to swing through midair and the ship's going to turn to be the size of an acorn and we're all just going to fall to our death.
That means point.
Okay, just player to player, lack of sailing knowledge coming in.
Lore.
Thanks for listening. Please consider supporting Dice Company on Patreon, where for the price of a cup of coffee, you get access to a whole other show, Extra Roll, as well as an ad-free listening experience. The Dice Company Discord server, along with our socials, can be found on our link tree in the show notes. If you enjoyed this chapter, please like and subscribe, and don't forget to recommend us to your friends. If you didn't like it, recommend us to your enemies. And we'll see you next time on Dice Company.